Oh god. Okay. She's gonna fucking knock everything over. She goes to the supply locker because it's on the other side of the hallway, and they're gonna hear her. So you might as well the podium. I hurriedly hid myself beneath the teacher's podium. I grabbed my knees, curled up, and made myself as small as I could. The footsteps continued to draw nearer and nearer. Little by little, the sound grew louder. Every hair on my back was standing on its end. I held my breath, clasped my hands together, and silently prayed. Okay, it's slow. They were close now. Very, very close. Why was this happening? I couldn't make any sense of it. I just wanted it to be over. I prayed to God that it would end. Was this what that old woman was trying to warn me about? Was this all happening because I ignored her? Because I didn't take the paper doll from her? Was it because I'd heard the ghost story of Yoshi and allowed it to get to me? Or did the strange events of the day have nothing to do with what was happening to me right now? I was still holding my breath. I didn't dare let even the tiniest of sounds escape and give away with my position. Oh, it's quicker? The consistent rhythm of the footsteps suddenly ended halfway into one of its cycles, and it had ended right in front of this very classroom. Ooh. Yeah, you need to go. I had goosebumps up and down my arms and legs. I stopped praying and clasped my hands over my mouth. I knew I'd scream if I didn't. Could this be Yoshi? Was the school legend real? All I could do was close my eyes, keep my mouth shut, and hope that whoever or whatever this was would just go away. But the footstep sounds didn't start again. If this was indeed Yoshi, then she'd stopped in front of the classroom and was just standing there. I had no concept of time anymore. I stayed in my hiding spot for what was probably only a few minutes, but felt like at least an hour. I decided to carefully peek out from under the podium. I gingerly edged my head out just far enough to get a glimpse of the room when suddenly... Oh shit! Oh shit! The footsteps rang out one more. It sounded like they were headed right for me, and they might have been inside the room. I honestly couldn't tell. I scrambled back into my hiding spot and covered my mouth with both hands. Dude, this is giving me anxiety. This is too much for me. My breathing was coarse and erratic, and my face was a mess of heart, tears, and snot. You've got to save yourself. I was inconsolable. The footsteps just wouldn't stop. What on earth were they doing? It almost seemed like they were running around in circles just to scare me. I mouthed these words over and over again and moved my hands to my ears in a vain attempt to block out this torturous sound. And as if in response, the sound changed. Oh fuck, they opened the door. It was a loud, dull thud followed by silence. No more footsteps. I had heard that sound hundreds of times before. It was the classroom door sliding open. I peeked out, but the door was still tightly shut. How could that be? If the sound I heard wasn't the door, then when was it? Probably the other side of the door. What little safety I'd felt here was pretty much gone. But to be fair, I wasn't absolutely certain the spirit had seen or heard me either. The prospect of stepping out into the open wasn't a desirable one, but I had to decide if it was better to stay here where I was, or to make a break for it. Bitch, that girl can run. She knows that you are there. She was playing fucking tootsies with you. Make a break for it. You gotta run, alright? Staying in one place for too long seemed like it would be inviting trouble. Hell yeah. So I took a deep breath and reluctantly crawled out as quietly as I could. But almost immediately I felt something. Nope. Something long and thin had struck me from the back of my head. Or perhaps struck wasn't the right word. There was a little force behind it, but it wasn't a hard slam. More like someone trying to get my attention.
Yuppie, yuppie!
Okay. Oh god. I knew I wouldn't like what I was going to see, but I had to face whatever this was, so I turned around, and there looming over me was... It's the fucking mother. Oh my god. Okay. A figure was peering down at me from above the podium, with one emaciated wishbone-like finger extended towards my face. I recognized this person instantly. No doubt about it, this was the strange old woman who supposedly passed away earlier. I was scared out of my mind. I tumbled the rest of the way from under the podium and shot my feet. Ghost. There really was a ghost in the school. My breathing was ragged and my heart was pounding, so hard I thought it might explode. Plowing through all these desks in my way, I ran as fast as I could towards the classroom door. But that was as far as I could go. There on the other side of the door, tight up against the glass, was the old woman. She was glowing bluish white, the source of the light from earlier. But how in the world did she get to the door before I did? How did she get out of the room so quickly, and position herself so perfectly to block my exit? I felt like I was starting to hyperventilate, and tried as best as I could to calm my breathing as my eyes darted about the room. I needed to get out of here now, to get as far away from this place as I possibly could. She would probably be able to get you. Yeah. I bit my lip and continued scanning the room. Something. If I just had something I could use to fight back. I didn't have time to think carefully about it. I just had to grab something and hope for the best. There were two choices, and I had to pick one on impulse before it was too late. Oh shit! Salt! Broom's not gonna do anything. Yeah, dude, a broom and a ghost, not gonna work. I heard that salt was used in purification rituals, so it seemed like a natural choice. Yup. Okay. I placed the salt in my pocket as a sort of protective charm. I'm scared. Okay. Okay. I'm scared, but well, here goes nothing. When I looked over, the spirit of the old woman was holding out her hand from the other side of the door frame. She really was trying to catch me. I wasn't just being paranoid. She was going to kill me and turn me into a ghost like her. You know, that's usually how that works when somebody kills you, but... Okay. I was convinced. This had to be Yoshi, the teacher from the urban legend. Okay. Bracing myself, I darted towards the door at the back of the end of the classroom. There wasn't a moment to lose. If I didn't act fast, I probably wouldn't be able to act at all. I threw the door open and just began running to the top speed, hoping to escape behind the spirit's back. Unsurprisingly, trying to outrun a ghost proved to be a fruitless endeavor. The spirit saw me and moved at breakneck speed to intercept. Okay. Thrust my hand in my pocket and withdrew the bag of salt, and threw the entire thing directly at the old woman's face. Why does she sound like fucking RTD2? I ran down the hall as fast as my legs could carry me, briefly glancing over my shoulder after a moment to confirm that the spirit was still writhing. I just kept on running down that dark hallway with nothing but adrenaline and mortal fear to keep me going. I reached the stairwell at the end of the hall and made a mad dash toward the ground level. I was determined to get out of this building alive. Finally, still moving at top speed, I reached the windowed door leading outside. Luckily, the malevolent spirit hadn't caught up to me yet. It actually seemed like I might be able to escape. I might actually survive this. I made it. I grabbed the handle and tried pulling it. Great. Okay. Whew. Because if anything, we can hide, right? Or maybe I could hide somewhere to throw Yoshi off my trail. Oh, I should have broken the thing. I had no particular destination in mind. My only thought was anywhere but here. After maybe 30 seconds, I found myself in the second floor hallway. There was an outside corridor connecting to the two buildings of the school there, and it was the first alternate escape route that came to mind. Naturally, it was walled off from the outside for safety purposes, but the wall wasn't so big that I couldn't scale it in a pinch. I didn't really want to jump from the second floor off of the school, but if I had to, I was confident that I'd at least survive the fall with minimal injury. I climbed the wall faster than I thought possible and dropped down the narrow ledge on the other side. It was wide enough just to sit down. My back was to the hallway, but my location should have been completely hidden from anyone inside the school. I looked down at the muddy down below me. I really couldn't see much though. The outside was completely dark. It was so dark that it felt almost like the whole wide world had been draped in a black veil. Maybe I should just stay here until morning. I mean, if I ran, I'm pretty sure I'd get caught. I opened the pen case in my pocket and pulled out the pencil I'd received from Tsukasa. Was I really treating this stubby little pencil as a protective charm? Tsukasa said it would guarantee success in my test, not ward off any evil spirits. Still, it was better than nothing. I clutched it tightly in my hands and prayed. Please protect me. Oh my god, I whispered the words so quietly that I might as well have been mouthing them, but that seemed to be all the opening the damn spirit needed. Sensed a presence on the ledge with me, and so startled that I almost fell off my perch. However, I could only sense her there. I didn't actually see her. I thought for one brief moment that maybe I was letting my imagination run wild. And I felt a horrible sensation of something coiling itself around my arm. Oh. Before I knew it, a tall, shadowy figure had half emerged from the wall behind me, and she had me in her grasp. It wasn't much more than an indistinct, flickering silhouette, but I could clearly see she had a broken neck. Was this a different apparition? Her scraggly, root-like fingers were squeezing my arm with tremendous force, pushing aside muscle and tissue, and pressing right on the bone. I was shaking hysterically, and tears were streaming down my face. I was absolutely convinced that I was going to die here. All I could do was oh god, am I gonna die? Damn it! I felt like my arm would snap it too at any moment. She wasn't just grabbing, but twisting as well. The pain was so unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. I couldn't think about anything else. Stopping it had become my first and only priority. I struggled violently against the spirit's grip, ultimately breaking free by throwing my body off the wall towards the unseen earth below. In the face of death, everything really does seem to slow down. I'd read somewhere that this is because the brain is sending out all kinds of distress signals or something. Slow motion or not, though, I was fully aware of my surroundings. I was cascading through the air just outside my school building. Why? Try to grab something. I was pretty sure this fall would kill me. With a controlled jump, I might have been able to survive, but I was tumbling like a rag doll. I was a goner. You have to catch yourself. I couldn't even remember what you were supposed to do in a situation like this. Try to flip over, brace for impact. On one last-ditch attempt at survival, I stretched out both my arms. Maybe somebody would be waiting there to grab them. Maybe somebody would save me. And somebody actually did. I honestly wasn't expecting that. I really thought there was no one. But then, at the last second, I was yanked to safety. Oh my god. Oh, is he gonna die now? I held onto his arms with all my might, and against seemingly impossible odds, I was pulled in. My life was saved. This was like a scene out of some anime. Ahahaha, nice one. It shouldn't have happened. It was too convenient, but I wasn't about to complain. I was close. Dude, is he gonna die? Tsukasa was still holding on to me tightly after coming to my rescue. He took off down the hall, back into the heart of the school with me in tow. He practically spit these words as he continued running. I tried to match his gait, and once we were a bit more in sync, I looked up at his face. He was fast. After we'd reached the end of the hall, he suddenly veered into the last classroom before the stairwell, pulling me in with him. I moved away from Tsukasa and almost immediately spilled onto the ground like a house of cards. Tsukasa grabbed my arm to help me up. Unfortunately, it was the arm of Yoshi it was the arm that Yoshi had been twisting. Please don't kill him. I draped my other hand over the sore spot, where I assumed there was probably one hell of a bruise. I started rubbing gently, but it didn't help at all. It's just a fucking bruise. Just thinking about going out there and facing Yoshi made me shudder. I couldn't believe he was even entertaining the idea. Great, he's stupid. Tsukasa's gentle reassurance actually made me forget the pain in my arm for a moment. I had to stop myself from blushing, or try to, at any rate. Tsukasa offered me his hand, and I graciously took it, squeezing it tightly as he led me back out into the hallway. Despite the fact that nothing hadn't really changed, I was still in just as much danger as I had been. The paralyzing fear I'd been feeling was gone. If it were just me, I would have never been able to do this. I would have frozen up. But with Tsukasa leading the way, I felt like I could do anything. He's gonna die. With my blessing, Tsukasa upped his pace significantly. I prayed silently for smooth sailing as I followed Tsukasa's lead. I gently squeezed his hand again, as if to reassure myself that he was still with me. I was starting to think maybe Yoshi was gone. Maybe we thwarted her, but of course, just as I was thinking that, she made her presence known again. An unearthly voice reverberated throughout the dark corridor. I immediately drew myself into Tsukasa's back. Over Tsukasa's shoulder, I saw the same shadow-like spirit from before. It must have been waiting here to ambush us. The ghost was moaning and wavering before us. We'd never be able to get past it. No. He's gonna die. I swear if it's the fucking pencil. He's gonna die. We really didn't have time to be arguing. It was closing in fast. And as it did, I noticed the spirit's figure had become more defined. She was a tall, young woman, with her head turned sideways at a 90-degree angle. The tale of Yoshi suggests she fell down a flight of stairs, so a broken neck would certainly fit. He gave my back a shove to get me started, and with no time to object, I unconsciously obliged. Oh, damn. He ran. I know that. I saw that. Tsukasa ran as close as he possibly could to get Yoshi's attention, then turned tail and began sprinting off in the opposite direction. Amazingly, it worked. The spirit began chasing Tsukasa, leaving me completely unobstruction. I was torn. On one hand, I knew this was my best chance, but I couldn't help worrying about what would happen to Tsukasa if his charm had failed. I stopped for a moment and glanced over my shoulder. He was still running, and the shadowy figure was still in hot pursuit. He's gonna die. I still can't believe I fell for it, but this was right about when I realized the truth. Tsukasa had no protective charm. He just made it up so I wouldn't object too strongly to him serving as a decoy while I got away. I stopped in my tracks and shouted out the top of my lungs. I wasn't sure exactly what I was getting myself into, but I had to do something, and calling the spirit's name definitely seemed to have an effect. All at once, the black figure was facing me, though. I never saw her turn around. She was flying towards me, ignoring Tsukasa. I repeated this mantra and stuck one hand in my pocket, grasping tightly onto the one and only item I'd stashed there. Tsukasa's care, his effort, his beliefs, they were all packed into this pencil. And when you get it right down to it, that's what a charm is, right? I squeezed the nubby little thing in my pocket, mentally preparing myself for the confrontation ahead. The confrontation I had impossibly initiated. I closed my eyes, lifted my hand from my pocket, and brandished Tsukasa's pencil intently. The gauntlet had been thrown. I was putting a lot of faith onto this, and I really, really hoped that I hadn't made a mistake in doing so. I opened my eyes to find that the shadowy spirit Yoshi had stopped dead in her tracks. Did it work? Was Tsukasa's pencil keeping this vengeful soul at bay? Oh. Suddenly, I was whisked off my feet and slammed against the ceiling. I could see him down below. He was staring up at me and desperately leaping. He was trying to catch me, I suppose, even though he knew he'd never catch me. I called out to him over and over again in my mind. If he can get away, if he could survive this ordeal, then it would have been worth it. Oh, she's doing what she did last time with the kids. Yoshi was drawing near and I was helplessly pinned to the ceiling. I had no chance at all. There was no doubt in my mind that my life was over. I clung to the relief I felt in Tsukasa's safety. It was the only thing keeping me from losing my head entirely. Then all at once the situation took a complete 180, like it was a miracle. I thought she died. Before I had any idea of what was happening, I found myself bathed in a gentle light. Oh, is it Ghost? It was the old woman who had collapsed in front of my house. She was standing down below me, enveloped in a warm glow. The black shadow figure lunged toward her. Then there was a horrific noise, and the old woman was gone. Just like that, I fell to the ground. Whatever Yoshi had done to me, the old woman must have nullified it. That must have been why she came to me this morning, and why she had come again now. I felt like I was going to faint. Tsukasa ran to my side and gently scooped me off the ground into his arms. Yoshi's spirit was gone. She'd vanished along with the light around. Around us now, the only sound was the pitter-patter of raindrops on the school roof. I'd suffered quite a bump in the head from my fall and was decidedly disoriented, but I still had enough sense to put my arms around Tsukasa's neck. Is he going to die or not? I wanted to protect you. I couldn't bear the thought of losing you, is what I wanted to say. But instead, I just passed out in his arms. I felt as though I was waking from a long, horrible dream.
おい、大丈夫か
Oh my god, my queen.
おい、シシド
Was this a dream?
本当に大丈夫か見ればわかるだろ
Oh.
保健室
It occurred to me to look at my surroundings. Probably something I should have done before asking about them. But in my defense, I was out cold. Beige walls, pink curtains, white beds, and solid blue covers. This was indeed the school's infirmary, no doubt about it.
どうして？
どうしてもこうしても、お前があんなところで倒れてたから、
あんなとこ
おいおい、まだ具合悪いんじゃないのか
ろ？校門に？
そうだけど。
私、確かに学校の中でヨシエさんからに腕
はあ腕
夢だったの？そんなはずない。だって
ああ、まあなんか様子が変だけど、とにかく無事でほっとしたよ。
I mean, we know that she probably wasn't Heavenly Host because she said not to go there and she went. So it probably was for a second Heavenly Host because of Yoshi being there. The what when Seiko died, everyone had amnesia about it. They don't even remember who she is. So I wonder if he had the same thing, like they were in the same realm and then he just forgot.
こういうのって虫の知らせって言うんだな。なんとなく気になってお前ん家に行ったら、お前のお母さんに学校に行ったって聞いてな。
Oh, marry
そ
him.
したら、あんなところに倒れてるんだもんな。
So is he gonna die?
司くん。
うん。まあとりあえず、詳しい話は後で聞くからさ。
あ、司くん。
あら、シシドさん、目が覚めたのね。
先
驚いたわよ。三国くんが血相変えて私を呼びに来るんだもの。
生、ご迷惑をおかけ。
それはいいのよ。でも、
悪いよ。
そうよ。三国。
そうだ。やっぱり。
ともかく。
はい。
そう、よかったわ。
The nurse smiled cheerfully and disappeared behind the partitioning curtain. Letting out a sigh, I laid myself down on the bed once more. It was dead silent. The rain must have let up. The only sound I heard was the occasional cough from the nurse, who was otherwise going about her business quietly.
そういえば、ペンケース。
What about the pen case? Thrust my hands in my pocket, not really expecting to find it, but
ちゃんとある。
the pen case, complete with Tsukasa's pencil talisman inside, was present and accounted for, which meant that
私
I made it to my
やっぱり教室には
classroom.
行ったんだ。やっぱり。
It wasn't a
夢じゃ
dream.
ない。
おーい。
あ、司くん、おかえり。
I was still trying to remember exact details about what happened when I unexpectedly felt something cold pressed against my cheek.
これって。
お前、うなされてただろ。汗もかいてたし、喉乾いたんじゃないかなと思ってさ。
Marry this man.
ありがとう。
Tsukasa went out of his way to buy this just for me. It was a lovely gesture. How could I possibly
お
refuse?
前さ、明日というか、もう今日か。推薦の試験だろあと4時間か。
もう無理だよ。今日は。
4 hours? 5 in the morning. I'd been put through hell on earth. Taking a test was the furthest thing from my mind. I was in tears, and I had no idea why. Maybe it was because was so relieved, so glad to be alive.
え？
ちょうどいいから、お前にいいもの見せてやるよ。
いいもの？
おう
Oh my god, his
そうだ
look!
な
His cock!
うん。
My nose was still running, but my heart felt a lot lighter. I no longer felt threatened by the school. I was comfortable and safe. The two of us left the nurse's office, with Tsukasa in the lead, and even though I was holding a cold coffee in my hand, I still felt warm all over. Neither of us had said anything as he led me through the empty halls. It occurred to me that when we last saw one another, I was mad at him.
シシド、着いたぞ。
So did he die?
で、渡り廊下？
Is it bad if I Google if he's dead or
ま
not?
あもうすぐだからちょっと待てよ。
もうすぐ？
I had no idea what I was looking for. I just kept staring at him, but his eyes were fixed on the window leading out into the hallway. As I gazed upon him in a profile, I felt my heart skip a
昨日
beat,
のこと、謝らなくちゃいけない。
but I just wasn't sure what to say. I let my feelings get the better of me and reprimanded him for behavior that was, at least at the time, entirely reasonable. There was more to it than that, though. There was one in particular reason, more than any of the others, that made it hard for me to think of any word to say here. Hiei and I had run from Yoshi together. We escaped her wrath and against insurmountable odds. And what if that wasn't all just a dream?
出てきたぞ。
I followed Tsukasa's pointing finger at him.
朝日。すごい。すごい。
In a perfect world to get married.
俺ここでよく夕日を眺めてるんだけどさ、朝日もいいもんだな。
綺麗だよ。街がオレンジに染まって。
What do you mean it's... Okay.
お、元気出てきたな。
ここって司くんの言ってた例の場所だよね。
おう、
今まで絶対に教えてくれなかったのに、どうして今日はその教えてくれるの？
別に。
なんとなくって。
I could think of a reason, but I didn't say anything. Just seemed kind of far-fetched to me. If I were misinterpreting it, I'd be very embarrassed. He couldn't possibly, could he? My face felt kind of warm. I placed the sweaty cafe a lot, hand on my cheek and sighed
どうした？
softly.
顔赤いぞ。
そう？
まだ具合悪いんじゃないのか？
そんなことないよ。そのほら朝日が赤い。
ああ、なるほどな。
Voice can be so dense
試
sometimes.
験頑張れよ。今からすぐ戻って準備すれや。
ありがとう。司くんのそれ好き。
Oh,
え？
それとあとごめん。
なんで謝るの？
いやその昨日ほらなんかちょっと気まずくなっちゃったし。
ああ、そんなこともあったっけ？
そんなこともって私は結構気にしてたんだけどな。
女子はほんと細かいこと気にするよな。俺は全然何とも思ってなかったのに。
そっか。
I let out another sigh and turned back toward the morning sun, stretching my arms skyward as a sudden wave of exhaustion overcame me. The day had got brighter bit by bit, and I just stood there, silently trying to piece together all the jumbled thoughts rattling around my head. I was running away from Yoshi, and Tsukasa was with me. Then I was saved by that old woman.
やっぱり夢だよね。あんなの。
As the bright rays of the sun washed over me, I felt new life and a new hope welling up from within, and I finally came to terms with those horrid events. Most likely, I just got the pen case without incident, but then on my way back, something in my head and knocked me out. That would be just my
あ、
luck.
ちょっとシシド、動くなよ。
Are you gonna kiss?
そのまま、そのまま。
Is he gonna die or not? I didn't know what he was planning to do, but he was just staring right at me. Kind of felt like he was staring at my soul. And then... Oh my god, are they gonna kiss? Slowly, Tsukasa drew his face toward mine.
これって
I swear to god, if it's like, you have a fucking eyelash on your cheek.
シシド。
嘘。何？
Or like, there's a scratch on you. Shut my eyes, I was ready for this. Or maybe I just didn't want to look. But the next sensation I felt wasn't quite the one I was expecting.
これ大丈夫か？
I knew it. He'd grabbed my arm for some reason and was staring down at it intently.
何よ紛らわしいな。で、やだ、何これ。
Turns out he was just concerned by the strange bruise I had apparently received, which had momentarily become visible when I raised my arms. It was right around my elbow, right where Yoshi had grabbed me in my
痛
dream.
そうだな。
全然痛くないけど。
けど？
なんでもないよ。
Giving a wry smile, I gently pulled my arm from his grip.
司くん、
ん？
帰る前に一つお願いがあるんだけど。
なんだよ。
手繋いでもいい？
手？
手ダメかな。なんでという彼の言葉にはなんとなくと答えた。そっと指先を掴んだだけの軽いものだったけど、初めて私はお互いの心がつながっているのを感じた気がして、とても嬉しかったのを覚えている。
ゆい先生
I never ended. Why did they not?
ゆい先生って
Are they dating? I knew I'd heard that voice before, but who was it? Was I just streaming again? Wow, to think that, like, honestly, I don't know if he's dead. I thought he died. Or maybe they are dating, or maybe, you know, I don't fucking know. In my mind, they're dating right now. And then she dies before she even fucking turns 25. I still felt like I was holding Tsukasa's hand again,
ゆい
though.
先生って
What?
やっと起きた。
あらえ持田くん
そうだよ、持田聡だよ。
と
I was still dazed. I had no idea what was going on. All I knew that for one of my students, Satoshi Mochida was here, and he looked
あ
concerned.
のゆい先生、いい加減手を。
あら
I finally realized what he was talking about. I was holding Mochida's hand into my own and squeezing it awfully tightly.
やだごめんなさい私ったら
This is so inappropriate.
いいけどさ、ゆい先生。
あらそうこれでも
my
昔
God.
はか弱く儚い
She
美少
still,
女として
she still has the
巷
bruise
に
on
名を
her
馳せ
arm.
たものだけど
She has the bruise on her arm still.
それどこから突っ込んでいいの？
手厳しいわね
Well, she was a good student. He and I got along well, and we were falling back into our usual pattern of good-natured ribbing,
ちょっ
except
と待ってどうして持田くんがうちにいるの
それさっき話した。
え？
はあ、その調子じゃ何も覚えてないんでしょ。
何も
さっき俺の作ったおかゆ食って薬飲んでまた寝たじゃないか。本当に綺麗さっぱり覚えてない？
全然
笑えないよ。もう
Mochida sighed and pointed at the table.
山崎先生からの届け物。
もしかしてわざわざそれを届けに来てくれたの
そうだよ。そしたらゆい先生があんまりにひどい状態だったから、キッチン借りていいって言ったのはモネだから。
そっかモネちゃんがね
I stroked Monet's neck, and he lied down contentedly on my futon. Such a pretty kitty. I was getting kind of wrapped up in petting him, as I often did. I almost forgot Mochida was here, till he let out a huge
ゆ
sigh.
い先生、玄関の鍵は閉めないと不用心だよ。
あら相手
今回ばかりは開いてて助かったけど。
気をつけるわ
なんで笑うの？
持田くん私のお母さんみたいだから
うわ、複雑。
I didn't mean to laugh. I must have seemed like kind of deranged, but I could always blame it on the fever. Mochida looked at me and let out another sigh. My poor sense of humor must have been getting to him.
でもまあ、だいぶ元気になってきたみたいで。
So this
よ
is
かったよ。
either she got the bruise on her arm because of the dream she just had, like remembering it, or this is happening a couple of days before she does die because she gets crushed by she gets crushed by the desk by the ghost, and then she falls into a fucking abyss.
そうみたい
結構寝てたもんな。
そうね確か今朝風邪でめまいがして
あれ、コンビニ行ったんじゃないの？
コンビニ
うん。冷却シートと弁当があって、ほらこれ。
本当だ
もしかしてゆいせ。
No, it's Tsukasa.
ああ、もうしっかりしてくれよ。
そんなことは
どうかな。笑ってごまかさない。
ごめん
うん。
そう遅くまでごめん
Wait,
なさいね
Tsukasa. It was already past 10 o'clock in the evening. I couldn't believe Mochida had been with me this whole time. I felt both guilty and grateful, and I definitely gained a new respect for
おか
him.
ゆまだちょっと残ってるから。あとそれからこれ。
スーパーの袋
冷蔵庫を見たら何もなかったからさ。
The bag was quite heavy. Inside it was a bottle of orange juice, some bananas, canned peaches, apples, and other assorted fruits.
これ
風邪の時ってビタミンを取るといいんだろう。
持田くん
That much fruit couldn't have come cheap, especially for a high schooler. I considered offering to pay him back, but decided against it, because I don't want to pay it. I knew he wouldn't take my money, and besides, I really appreciated the fact that he'd gone all this trouble for me. I'd return the favor another time. If it ever seemed like he was going to be staying late after school, maybe I'd buy him dinner, or I could help him with preparations for the school festival.
じゃあ俺帰るよ。
あ大丈夫道わかるかしらなんなら
途中まで見送りに行くわよ。
大丈夫だよ。ゆい先生はおとなしく寝てて。まだ本調子じゃないんだし。第一、夜道を女の人一人で歩くなんて。
Yeah, 10 in the evening, bitch, that's 10 at night.
持田くんは優しいね。そういうとこキュンとしちゃう。
Don't catch a case, girl.
あれ、そういうこと俺に言っていいの？
Yeah.
なんで？
Mochida and I joked like this a lot. Usually it made him blush and get a Ew!
Don't let his disability fool you. This is a man with a deviant plan.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Are you excited?
I'm looking forward to this, man.
What do you want to do?
Show me something. Come here, man.
So I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Come on, man.
What's your
Oh no. Oh no. Yui sensei? Girl, I don't think I like you no more. But not today. Today he just grinned sheepishly with a mischievous glint in his eyes. I didn't quite get it. What was the saying?
司くんって誰？先生の恋人？
どうして？
ゆい先生寝てるときずっとその人のこと読んで。誰なんだよ。
That crafty Mochida had turned the tables on me. How embarrassing to know I'd been calling Tsukasa's name.
それは。
I hesitated to answer for a moment, but I figured what the hell, why not?
司くんはね、私の
Did he die?
初恋の人。
その様子じゃゆい先生はよっぽどその人のことが好きだったんだね。
Did he die?
だって先生さっきすごかったよ。
I
俺のこと司って人と間違えてたでしょ。
did you see their models next to each other? Just to see if they did just put like different hair on him or something?
やだ。
ゆい先生顔赤いよ。
これは熱のせいよ。
まあいいや。そう。
あんまり大人をからかわないで。
だってこんなゆい先生めったに見れないからさ。
I wasn't sure he was ever going to give me the full story of all the embarrassing things I'd done in my fevered days. Maybe it was better if he didn't. Either way, I was in his debt, so he could tease me all he wanted, just this once.
やばい。そろそろ帰らないとゆかがカンカンだ。
今日はありがとね。もう暗いから気をつけて帰るのよ。
はーい。それじゃあ先生、食事をきちんととって頑張って早く治してくれよ。
頑張る。
ファイト。
ありがとう。いい子だな、持田くんは。
I don't know why you have to be careful, you fucking creep. What is this? Is this the fucking pedo simulator?
I love little girls, they make me feel so good.
おいで、マネちゃん。一緒に寝ようか。会いたいな、司くん。
Is he dead? Did he die? Did he die? Should I look it up? Oh, great. Yeah.